So I have mad respect for what you guys do. Let me ask Mr. Tippett, the transition from stop motion and practical effects to digital and computer generated animation, was that a smooth transition or an arduous and challenging one? I mean,
Yeah, well, I'd known Dennis for years, and he kept me, posted on, all the stuff that he'd been doing with digitally at ILM. I saw the transition that they were making with the digital dinosaurs, and so in some ways it wasn't like the biggest shock in the world, but many things that are gonna hit you, like when it happens, when Stephen committed to going all digital. It was like a bitter pill to swallow, and I didn't know anything about any of the digital stuff. Didn't make any sense to me. So it was difficult, yeah.
So it was a learning process at the time then for you as well? No,
Oh, definitely,
okay.
yeah.
Now, Mr. Rosengard, you worked with the late great Stan Winston. What was his approach, or what were some of your team's initial ideas or designs for the animatronic dinosaurs, and to be in sync with what Spielberg had in mind or what he envisioned?
Well, what Stephen wanted was realistic animals, and we were totally on board, from design to how we were going to make these things move, to take all of the latest scientific and the paleontologist views and all the latest and greatest information and weave that into, it turned out to be iconic designs of these dinosaurs. So starting there and then following through, the challenges of making them appear real and how we puppeted these things. There was a lot of breakthrough, for moving giant creatures around. We figured out ways to do it hydraulically, which gave a smooth movement, but we also had to harness that power so it was realistic. So that was a big challenge for us. But
I understand that
cool
the T-Rex wasn't built to. You guys didn't know if it could withstand exposure to water. I mean,
no, it was not meant to be in water.
Okay.
And what happened was it had all been tuned. The cylinders, everything was all in balance for the 9,000-pound weight that it was. When it got wet, because originally it wasn't supposed to happen in the rain, but I understand why it got rained on, because it looks cool. The rain was supposed to be in front of it and all that, but it just didn't work that way in the movie. So
There was a storm.
It was a storm, and it rained on the T-Rex, and it soaked up all this water, so then it was out of sync with how it was tuned, and we had to be there all night with towels and drying it off, but we learned on the next two. We had it so it could be retuned and could deal with the water situation, but that ambushed us that day.
Now I have questions for all you three gentlemen. VFX and stop motion, everything has gone through a lot of stages. All these years. Now we've seen Avatar and Tron Legacy. I mean, where do you think the VFX, visual effects, will be in the next 5 or 10 years? And what's the next big technology for filmmaking will be? What's the next bubble?
Man, I think 3D might be disappearing, but I like it. And maybe higher frame rates. But that's all technical stuff. It's if anything, it may be that you're going to have more characters like Davy Jones or the apes in Planet of the Apes or the Avatar characters, something like that. More personality, but with more fanciful designs. But I can't say this is the thing. I mean, you could sort of say that in the 80s. This promise of computer graphics. I don't know what there is right now that's that big a leap. Maybe somebody knows, but I don't see it.
No. What about you, gentlemen?
I'm terrible at prognosticating the future. I thought, Dennis showed me some early stuff, and I went like, this is never going to work.
Well, I think what Dennis was saying, if you look at Avatar and some of the techniques in motion capture and the IBC, and maybe it's expanding upon that. I know some of the team that worked on Avatar went and did real steel, and so we took a version of that and incorporated it into that movie instead of it being a completely fantasy set, that's completely computer generated. It was using some of that technology in the real world. I guess it's going to maybe expand upon that technology, possibly.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thanks.
Have a good day.